We do many interventions on executives, people who need their confidentiality respected, such as people on television, possibly doctors, lawyers, etc. Before I even go any farther, all people are treated with confidentiality, and the confidentiality of your family is of the utmost importance for us. At the same time, when you're dealing with somebody like an executive or somebody with a profession such as a physician or an attorney or something of that nature, it's a little different because there may not be that rock bottom perception. They still have their job, they still have their finances, they still have many things left. And they may look different on paper than somebody who is either living on the streets or maybe living back at their parents with nothing left. At the end of the day, the interventions are still the same. Love and affirmation and knowing that you did everything you could to stop it. We've done executive interventions where everybody there is basically on the payroll or underneath the financial reliance of the person we're intervening on. And that can be scary for those that are holding the intervention because they're afraid that if they even did this, would they be cut off? At the end of the day, whether you're an executive, an attorney, a physician, an airline pilot, anything of that nature, there's always somebody somewhere that is helping you stay sick. And it usually is the family, it could be coworkers. So when it comes to an executive intervention or any other type of intervention, we always have to factor in all of the variables in the background, their employment, which should never be more important than getting the person help. But at the same time, to look at this from a different perspective, families are often afraid they'll lose their job. And I think to myself, like when it's a physician or an executive making big decisions, why are we focusing on the finite situation, or in other words, offending that one person, when that one person is affecting so many other people? We have to start looking at interventions, whether they're executive or not, as to who else is being affected, even outside of the family. Is it okay for a physician to still see patients? Is it okay for an attorney to still have clients? Is it okay for a nurse to be making their rounds while they're in the midst of their addiction? Even if they're not under the influence at work, they're still not the same. Their brains are changed. Is it okay for an airline pilot to be flying 200 people from Los Angeles to Chicago who's hungover? When you have an executive or a high-end professional or a job that is a little different than the average client, they're similar, and at the same time, they're also affecting way more people than the other clients, which in my opinion is even more reason to do something about it. It's not okay to let an alcoholic or a drug addict run wild when other people are effective. So when it comes down to the confidentiality, we will respect that. We have to respect that. And it is still never a reason to not try to get the person help based on what they do for work. Because at the end of the day, they may have on a suit and tie and they may make a lot of money, but behaviorally, they're no different than the person we just intervened on yesterday that's just about ready to live on the streets.